Hello, Yahweh Zeros. I was reading another book, and it's called Gods at War, but it had a really good story in it about a fish named Nemo. And do you guys remember that movie, Nemo? I don't know, has everybody seen it? But at any rate, so I love Nemo. Nemo's a little fish that got lost. He went out and he went swimming, and he should have stayed with his family, but he didn't. He saw these cool things. He said, "Oh, I want to go there." So, but that's what happened with Nemo. But at any rate, so here's the story. It's about a dad and what he says to his daughter. And the dad says, "When we were living in California, my oldest daughter was 4 and she wanted a pet. I agreed, but there were a few conditions. First, the pet had to be something that didn't bark, meow, or make any kind of noise. Second, the pet couldn't shed any kind of fur or hair. Third, the pet had to cost less than $5. Was there any pet like that? Well, within those limitations, we finally settled on a goldfish. When we went to purchase the fish, the sign offered a 3-day guarantee, no questions asked. Okay. This seemed like a safe policy and good stewardship for us. So we took the fish, him, her, who knows, home with us. My daughter named it Nemo and was eager to play with her new pet. But how do you play with a fish? You can't take it for a walk. You can't teach it to fetch, but you can take it swimming. So we took a trip to the swimming pool with Nemo in a glass cup at the edge of the pool. While my daughter and I were splashing in the water, I noticed that Nemo was watching us. I figured the fish wanted to get out of the cup and into the vast ocean this swimming pool must have seemed. But I explained to my daughter that I wasn't too sure about that. See, there are chemicals in the pool that might not be too good for Nemo. You know how a fish, it goes through their whole gills and goes through their body, and we don't breathe the pool, and the fish does. So it's just really dangerous for a fish to go in the chlorine pool. Let's see, chemicals might not be too good for Nemo. She was disappointed, but okay, Dad. She said, "Okay, Dad," and they continued swimming. Where am I? A while later, I was shocked to see that Nemo had moved on too. Nemo, living up to his name, had flip-flopped out of the cup and into the pool. Immediately, I recognized and thought of the danger and started looking everywhere, trying to find Nemo. I spotted him in the deep end of the pool. Oh, he was having so much fun, living large, taking charge, darting back and forth. You could almost hear the theme music in the background. I knew I had to catch that little fish very quickly. Have you ever tried catching a goldfish in a swimming pool? It's harder than it sounds. So, sadly, all we could do finally was to wait the fish out. Nemo swam more and more slowly until the fish floated to the surface, belly up. That means he died. Oh, this father says, I feel Nemo's pain. The water glass seemed so restrictive, so small, and the freedom looked so vast and enticing. And at first, once the fish dived in, yeah, it all felt so right. But what looked like pleasure and freedom and a good time was actually poison. The restriction, the cup, the order turned out to be a loving thing, and that freedom really meant his destruction. So the reason why I read that to you kids is because sometimes when we're younger, especially when we're 12 and maybe 13 or stuff, we see all this cool stuff and we want to go and do. And maybe even when we're 7 or 8, we see cool things out there that we want to go and do. And mom and dad tell us, no. What? Why? Why can't I go do this thing I want to do? Couple reasons. One, mom and dad, so number one, God has given you mom and dad. And they love you, and their job is to keep you safe and strong and healthy so you can grow and grow and grow and have a wonderful life. That's what mom and dad, well, actually, grow and grow so you can glorify God. That's really what the point is. But so in order for you to do that, to have a happy life, to be strengthened and strong, is to, number one, trust God. That's your first thing to do, trust God, because He has the best plan and He loves you the most. And then second, recognize that God gave you mom and dad. So you do your best, love mom and dad, respect them, and say, yes ma'am, yes sir, I will obey that because I trust you, and most importantly, because I trust God. And God loves you, and He has a plan for you this very day. In fact, He probably has work for you to do. So you be praying, you talk to the Lord, ask Him what He has for you, sing Him songs, He loves that, and your heart will be blessed, and you will have a lovely day. And you know, I love you. Mwah. Praying for you every day. Bye.